Hi, my name is Janelle, and I did my field work for Psych 495 at Strorefront, which is a homeless youth center for San Diego Youth Services. And I wanted to do this video on describing the characteristics of the clients that were at Storefront and what I've learned about this population, as well as what I find are the best treatment strategies that work best for me. I apologize if you can't hear me very well. The microphone on my computer isn't good, so I'm going to talk as loud as I can. Um, so first I wanted to talk about what I originally thought going into this experience. I talked to a friend who had worked with homeless youth before, and she told me that street kids, or what they called them, street kids, are very difficult and don't like to listen to authority and would much rather be out on their own doing whatever they want. Um, you always have to stay, in authority. You have to stand your ground and all of that. So it made me a little bit nervous because I've never been in that position before to take authority over someone. Um, so contrary to what I was told, that's kind of not really what I experienced. Um, the characteristics of the clients are pretty much, they look like normal kids. I expected them, when people say homeless, you get this stereotypical thought in your head like they're dirty or they don't clean themselves or there's a bunch of drug addicts, things like that. Um, there was actually only one girl at the center that is struggling with a meth addiction, and it's very obvious. She comes in high a lot, um, and she's probably one of the hardest first people I had to deal with. She's very uh, she's very strong-minded, that likes to tell you how she feels. She just doesn't like to listen. Um, she's very loud, doesn't like being told no about anything, so that was a little difficult for me. But besides that, and besides her in particular, the characteristics of the people at the center are what you would see if you walked into a high school or middle school. They are provided with clothes at Storefront. They're provided with showering, all that kind of stuff. So they don't look dirty. They look cleaned up, and they are actually some of the most brightest, intelligent, creative people that I've ever met, which I can imagine is because they had to find their own way in this world and had to figure out what to do and creative ways to do it with the little bit that they did have. So that was something that really, really impressed me about them. However, along with that comes they use a lot of profanity. They talk about drugs. They talk about fighting. Things like that. Like they are kind of like a little bit rebellious. Um, they carry knives with them at all times. Things like that. But they typically are very sweet, and they don't resist us at all because they know that we're there to help them and to care about them, and they don't have to be there if they don't want to be. So when they do come in and we ask them to do their chores and things like that, they're very willing to do so. Um, Actually, there was one girl that left Storefront not too long ago that really reminded me of a friend of mine in high school. So her and I had a very good relationship. We had a lot of things in common. Each one of them is very different. We have kids from you know different cultural backgrounds, different sexual identities, um, different talents and interests. Um, it's it's pretty awesome. I feel like I have a lot in common with them. The first day I went there, they were just like, "Oh man, like we love your tattoos, we love your piercings, like how big are your ears, how big are your gauges?" Um, so I got along with them really well. I think they kind of looked up to me as like a big sister at some point. Um, what I learned the most, as like I said, is that they're all normal. They're normal kids. There's nothing mentally wrong with them as far as I can see. They're not there because they have mental issues because they're homeless. They're there because they have nowhere else to go, and it's usually a result of their parents not being able to support them. The best treatment strategy I found is for me to just simply be myself. For me to come in and acknowledge each and every one of them, ask them how their day was, ask them how their weekend went, like, what do you guys want to do today? You want to play pool? What do you want to do? Because like this center, they have what they call productive time, where they can either go online and search for jobs, or they can watch an educational movie or things like that. And not during productive time, they can kind of just hang out, which is where I come in, and I play pool with them, or play foosball with them, or we play card games or things like that. I'm very willing to hang out with them and just be a friend to them, listen to anything they want to tell me, and I'll, as much as I can without ethical issues getting in the way, tell them about myself and my experiences and how I'm not very much different than they are. And I think that being that way makes them feel more comfortable and like they're in a place where they can be loved and accepted and cared about, which I believe is the number one treatment for anyone who's struggling with, especially at a young age, with no parents, nowhere to go, nothing stable, and just showing up on time to every shift and being there to talk to them whenever they want to. It shows my dedication to them, and I think they feel that from me. My advisor actually wrote me an email not too long ago and told me that I had built some great rapport with most of the clients there. He said he gets really positive feedback. They really like me. So I'm going to have to say that this has been a great experience for me. I might have changed my career path to working instead of with LGBT adults and couples, maybe now to LGBT adolescents. I think that they need more people their age, or closer to them in their style, um, to be there to be a good friend to them. Although I guess I won't always be young with them, but I have always been kind of a rebel myself, and I think that they see that in me, and we can get along very well. So, all in all, it's been a really good experience, and I love all of the SPs, is what we call them. So, I would recommend this class to anybody. It's very eye-opening. It's a fun experience. I have no complaints. Thank you.